Hi everyone, welcome to a long video about sourdough. If you're new to it, this is video for you. If you experience sourdough maker, you can skip this. Wow, just found some interesting mushrooms. Look at that. Nice girls. What do you think? Do you recognize them? Ooh. So sourdough. There are few things that you really want to know and keep in mind and stick to when you working on sourdough. Uh, keeping sourdough is really fermentation, and so fermentation is about taking care of microorganisms. Basically, taking care of organisms that you cannot see. They are so small, but you can see and taste what they do and smell. You can judge how they are doing by how things look, taste, and smell. And so from the get-go, it's really important that you keep in mind that lots of microorganisms produce all sorts of acids and produce all sorts of sour flavor, but not all microorganisms are alike, and some sourness is less desirable than other sourness, and so your target microorganism is Lactobacillus. You also need some wild yeast. You're gonna get them too, but you want to focus on Lactobacillus because Lactobacillus is more delicate than the yeast. And so meanwhile, the yeast you don't have to worry about so much. The Lactobacillus you have to worry or care more. And and so here are some simple rules. One of them is hygiene, of course, always, right? You don't want to contaminate it with some crazy bacteria at all, zero. So good hygiene, and I don't mean not only before, but during your feeding practice. You gotta feed it. You gotta feed the microorganisms. And if you skip too long, and there is a die off, or there is the activity goes down, the flavor will suffer. You can still eat it and use it and things like that, but the flavor will change entirely, will suffer. And so you can note down that if you cannot feed it or don't want to feed it because you have too much, or you are leaving, then freeze it. Freeze it and it will stay fresh, and then on the day before you're gonna use it again, the day before you're gonna make bread, you just take it out of the freezer and then use it next day. Perfect, no problem. Okay, so what is the most important conditions that lactobacillus needs for happy happy thriving, right? They don't like light, any light. So complete darkness. Keep your dough on a dark. I know people say, keep it on a kitchen counter. That's great from the beginning, but once it's going, once it sparks, once it starts, fridge, fridge, where it's cold or cool. You want it to be cool. You want it to be dark. You want it also to be high salt, like a borderline salt, like an ocean, like almost as salty as you say. Oh, this is too salty now. That's salty. It needs to be really nice and high salt. That will keep the hygiene also. It will keep your dough from spoiling, from going bad. And so what's gonna happen? As I said, some of the yeasts that are in the flour will also pick up on living, and that's cool. That will help you to get some bubbles, some gas. And so if you are using dough with gluten, it's gonna expand. It's gonna make nice bubbles. But for the rest, you are growing lactobacilli. And so as long as it is always fed or frozen, as long as it is with high salt content, as long as it is in darkness, and as long as it is in cool temperature, your dough is gonna be really healthy and thriving. And that's, in a nutshell, this is it. It doesn't get much more complicated. And then simply what you do is you take either a portion of the whole thing. Usually people take just a portion so they don't have to start again the whole process. So you take a portion, you mix it with some dough, and when it rises, you bake it, or you mix it with more dough, feed it more, and make more dough, and then make bread out of it. And so, in a nutshell, this is it. I bet you have questions, so feel free to reach and ask details. But remember, it's very easy. By the way, I'm Tomas from Gavilana Permaculture. We are helping you to get nature in your lives. In this case, we are using wild microorganisms that come uh, in the flower and on your hands and in the air. And so you can use those to your benefit, to your advantage. You don't have to be buying flour. Yeast. And so, since speaking of that, just to point out the difference in between making regular bread, where you buy industrially produced yeast, that's cool, but it's not gonna be sour. The flavor profile will not develop, and also by letting it, the sourdough, what we're talking about is days and days and weeks really of fermenting, of soaking, of enzymes working, of microorganisms working, and so the final product, it's entirely different. So trying to compare dough that was leavened with store-bought yeast, you could call it basically isolated culture. Comparing that with sourdough, it's uncomparable. They are two totally different animals. And I wish you the best of luck in your practice. And as I said, let us know if you need any help, and talk to you soon.